That stress you feel right now, it's not just stealing your focus, it's quietly speeding up how your skin looks. The hidden cortisol cycle I'm talking about in the hidden cortisol cycle that makes women age faster after 35 is exactly that, a biochemical loop that often goes unnoticed until your skin starts showing it. Cortisol is the body's alarm hormone. It's made by the adrenal glands, and it's brilliant when used for short bursts. Think of it as the gas pedal that helps you sprint away from danger or get through a tight deadline. But when cortisol is elevated day after day, those helpful bursts become a slow, corrosive drip. Every cortisol spike is like throwing acid on your collagen. Over time, it weakens the structure that keeps skin firm and springy. Here's how that happens in plain terms. Cortisol primes a set of enzymes that chew up collagen and elastin, the proteins that give skin its bounce. It also interferes with the skin barrier, the outer layer that keeps moisture in and irritants out, so you lose hydration faster and inflammation rises. Add slower cellular repair to the mix, and you get more fine lines, sagging, crepiness, and wounds that take longer to heal. These are the visible consequences of a hormone meant for short-term use that's been left on for too long. But there's a more hidden part to this story, a self-perpetuating inflammatory loop. Skin cells under chronic stress start sending distress signals, small molecules called cytokines, which are like text messages that call immune cells to the scene. Mast cells, a type of immune cell that sits just under the skin surface, read those messages and respond by releasing their own chemical signals, amplifying inflammation. Instead of one spike, you get cycles of local inflammation that feed on themselves. A 2014 NIH study demonstrated this loop in skin models and showed that certain compounds, flavonoids and proteoglycans, could blunt that cytokine response in the lab. That's not a magic fix, but it's a clue that targeting this loop may reduce stress-driven skin inflammation. If you want the study link and my list of supplements I look at, check the description below. Here's what makes this especially relevant after about 35. Your body's repair systems aren't suddenly broken at this age, but they do become less robust over time, and the cumulative effect of years of cortisol exposure becomes more noticeable. Collagen production naturally slows, skin turnover lengthens, and the barrier is less resilient, so the same level of stress that barely left a trace in your 20s can leave a more obvious mark now. That's why this feels like an age-related problem, even though the underlying driver is something many of us live with daily: chronic stress and disrupted cortisol rhythms. So what can you do tonight and in the weeks that follow? Start with the things that reduce cortisol spikes and help your skin repair. First, immediate stress hacks you can use to rise right in. Take micro breaks during the day. 2 to 5 minutes of focused breathing, stepping outside for natural light or a short walk. Grounding activities, petting an animal, touching a plant, or simply standing barefoot briefly can lower acute stress reactivity. These aren't just feel-good tips. They blunt the frequency and intensity of cortisol spikes so your skin isn't exposed to repeated acid moments. Second, optimize sleep. Nighttime is when skin repair happens, and cortisol is supposed to dip low while you sleep. Make your bedroom cool, as a lower room temperature supports better sleep. And dark. Even small amounts of light can push cortisol upward. Avoid heavy or carbohydrate-rich meals within 4 to 5 hours of bedtime. Late eating can raise nocturnal cortisol in some people. For me, checking my magnesium status and using a gentle evening magnesium supplement improved my ability to fall and stay asleep. That's an individual anecdote, not a prescription, but it's worth discussing with your clinician or getting a lab check before you start. Third, adjust what you eat during the day to reduce cortisol reward cycles. High sugar, high refined carb meals can provoke blood sugar swings that trigger stress hormone responses. Aim for steady protein, fiber-rich vegetables, healthy fats, and regular small meals rather than giant blood sugar roller coasters. Omega-3s from fatty fish or a trusted supplement can help dial down inflammation systemically, and maintaining good hydration helps skin barrier function and cellular processes. Fourth, daily practices to protect repair and barrier function. Consistent sun protection, a moisturizer that supports the barrier, and targeted actives like retinoids or vitamin C. Those topical tools matter, but they work much better when the internal environment isn't constantly throwing cortisol at your collagen. In other words, skincare and stress management are complementary. You need both. Now about supplements and targeted compounds. Magnesium at night is one of the most commonly discussed options because it can support relaxation and sleep for many people. If you're considering it, check your levels with a blood test or talk to a provider about which form might suit you. People respond differently and dosing should be individualized. The 2014 NIH work I mentioned earlier suggests flavonoids and proteoglycans may blunt stress-driven cytokine release in skin models. That's promising basic research, but not a license to assume dramatic results in everyone. Look for products that reference clinical research and always run them by your healthcare provider, especially if you take medications or have health conditions. A practical, non-prescriptive way to think about supplements, use them as adjuncts to lifestyle change, not shortcuts. Omega-3s, adequate vitamin D, and targeted antioxidant-rich flavonoid sources like berries, green tea, and certain concentrated extracts can be part of a plan, but their benefits are greatest when paired with sleep, diet, hydration, and stress management. One thing to remember, this cycle is cumulative but also modifiable. Small, consistent changes compound. If cortisol is a slow drip of damage, then reducing the number and size of those drips will reduce downstream inflammation and allow the skin's repair systems to catch up over time. So what should you do tonight? Pick one prioritized action. Either stop eating 4 hours before bed, giving your nighttime cortisol and insulin a chance to calm down, or try addressing sleep directly. Check your magnesium with a provider and consider a sleep-supporting routine that helps you fall into restorative sleep sooner. Don't try to change everything at once. Choose one habit, make it consistent for a few weeks, then layer on another. A few final cautions. Don't expect a supplement or a single ritual to erase years of cumulative change overnight. I won't promise that. What you can expect is that reducing cortisol exposure, improving sleep, stabilizing blood sugar, and supporting barrier health will likely slow the visual effects and improve repair over months. If you have significant health concerns, hormone symptoms, or are on medication, check with your clinician before starting supplements or major dietary shifts. If this helped, like and share so someone else can stop unknowingly pouring acid on their collagen. Subscribe for the next video where I break down exactly how specific foods influence skin inflammation and aging. I'll link that next. Check the description for the 2014 NIH study and the handful of resources and supplement options I mentioned. Start with one small change tonight. Your skin will thank you in the months to come.